a better you, to be a better you. It's not too late to change your life. It's not too late to change your mind. Every day is a brand new day, and every day is a brand new day for you to do what you need to do, to be a better you, be a better you. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
You are here with us, Desiree and Mercedes, and this is a Better You, the a Better You podcast. A better you, a better me, it's a better world with all of us being better, right? And it's really exciting to be here again with my co host, Desiree. Hi, Desiree. How are you?
Blessings. Hello. Shalom, everybody. So happy and thank you so much for joining us again for another episode.
I'm trying to find find the show so I can share it, Des, and I still don't see it pulling up on my phone yet or on YouTube, so I don't know. Either way, we'll
Okay.
keep going. I don't know if you see it or not on there
Okay, we'll go
by
ahead and post that
chance.
in the comments here.
And while you're looking, I'm just going to say to everybody, we're so excited for you to be here. This is a better you, like I said earlier, but it's through prayer and fasting. And so this is a show where we're going to talk about prayer and fasting quite a lot, but there's also other things that we'll be talking about, and that is our spiritual health, our mental health, our physical health, our complete being in this world, and also about how we as people can heal through all of our traumas with God. Right, Des?
Yes, that is the truth.
Yeah.
Absolutely. God is the answer. And when Mercedes talked to me about this, and we come from two different Arizona or New Mexico, all the way in a different state, and then I'm over here. But there's two things that we align with, and that is our God, Yahweh, and we definitely have a lot to testify about in fasting and overcoming all. So yes, I agree. Amen.
And last week, we one of the things that happened was that you shared your story about how God literally healed you from blindness and all the trauma that was going on actually at that time, spiritual warfare and horrendous things that were happening. So I just want to make sure people understand that. Go back and look at that, our first podcast, because that really is amazing. Where does show tell the story of what happened. And I think that we were going to also say that I just want you to reaffirm to everybody, Des, um, when this happened, you did have all of I mean, after the blindness and then healing, or you were becoming blind, healing, and then you did keep the documented medical records. And so we were mentioning that that was proof, that was amazing proof to your medical doctors.
Right. Yes. I know, and that's funny you say that because I didn't realize how hard it is for people to believe, and I'm being so honest, for people to believe in miracles or for people to believe in the power of prayer or for people just to believe or have faith in God. Um, and to how the world has made people feel that, you have to be a certain way or reach a higher statue, or you have to have, I don't know, the certain criteria. And really, that's not true. The truth is that it's a honest, sincere, like authentic relationship with God. Nobody can tell you how to have it other than Jesus Christ of Nazareth. And he's who we call it the way, the truth, the life. And so, and he's he meets you where you're at. So yeah, kept all the paperwork, all my doctor's appointments. In fact, I'm working on getting the case study. So for this, so that way it could be something palatable, I guess, tangible for people that have these doubts. But no, it's real. It's so true. It's so real. And I got even better vision in one of my eyes. I got a 1920, like sharper vision, call it my left eye, and and I got my 2020. So I'm blessed. And I pray that other people have that same blessing and whatever it is that they are praying for. And that it is just wherever your miracle may be, may you just it be answered.
Right. And that's really, to me, it's like what prayer and fasting can do for us. Now, I know that a lot of things that happen to you, um, you had spiritual deliverance and exorcism and things like that. But I mean, seriously, that's really prayer too. And I
Right.
want to say also, Des, I'm still not seeing it on my YouTube channel or
Mm.
my Facebook channel. So maybe you could share it. Could you
Well,
share it and connect with
sure.
me? Yeah, because
Yeah, it
last time
it's
I did see it, so I was able to share it out, but this time it's not pulling up. So
okay. It is in the chat, and
yeah, so I
let me
can't get
text
the
it.
chat because I can't find unless I'm on some different thing, but I'm on my site, so I just I don't see it. But while we're trying to figure that out, but if you could share it to me, that maybe I could then find it. For some reason, it's just not
Mhm.
pulling up on my phone. I'm sure it's out there. It's just for some reason, maybe it's my internet. I don't know. I'm not quite sure what's happening. Um, so anyway, I wanted to also share that we will be doing on the first Sunday of the month prayer and fasting for America, and that's one of the things that we did mention on our first podcast, where we will come together as a group. We've already got, I think, like 5 states, and we only need what, 50 more. So little by little, one person from every state that's interested in the subject, which really there's so much research, and then that's one of the things I talk about in my book, A Better You Through Prayer and Fasting, which you can see up above there, that Des has so nicely for me. But I do talk about the history in America and the history around the world for prayer and fasting. And Des, I reached out to a couple of people too that I thought might be very interesting for people to um, to listen to. One was his name is Munish, and I had him on the Mercedes Lucke-Benedict show, and he is an amazing man. Family, the whole family helps, but they're in Delhi, India, and I think it's good for us to understand that there's all these different cultures that are part of them is about prayer and fasting. So I thought of him and some other people, and I thought that, what do you think about that? You think that'd be good to have some guests on sometimes that can share information?
Oh yeah, I think that's always good because I mean everybody has their own prayer language and their own fasting, and I love to learn and to hear everybody's relationship and whatnot. So yeah, I think that'd be awesome.
And then last week also we interviewed Dr. Reverend Glenn, and this is a great time for I think him to be able to. This is a good hour in the day where we could have Reverend Dr. Glenn Galtier on, and I know that as he is a deliverance exorcist minister that uses prayer and for what he does to help people. So I think he would be wonderful to have on too. Bishop Sparks, Dr. Adrian, I mean, all of them from the Unseen Realm podcast, which we do every Saturday at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So be sure to tune into that on all the broadcasting, the YouTube, and oh, there we go. There, I see somebody. Hi, Trish. Hi, Trish. I'm seeing people, so I guess it's going out. So that's awesome. Thank you, Des. Um, yeah, so hey, so we definitely want everybody to make sure they tune into the Unseen Realm podcast. And then tonight, with Bishop Joshua Sparks and I, will have our show tonight, Explaining the Unexplainable, and I'll talk more about that at the end of this show. So, Des, tell us about what you've been doing the last day or so, because you and I just found out that we've both been fasting. I just completed a 2 day fast, water only, and then you were fasting too. So, why don't you talk about what your experience was?
Okay, well, I was being spirit-led fasting, and I have my personal walk is like Yahweh lead, I follow. So I was fasting, and in my thoughts, I just thought I was fasting for a spiritual warfare, like a spiritual battle. And yeah, no, it was. I guess it was in the process of it being revealed of the fullness of it. It was. I also delivered a message, and so that was a supernatural event in my life that happened. And I'm just like I was telling Mercedes, I'm still trying to kind of um, understand it all, and it's just like it's just amazing. God's power is just beyond like my understanding, and like when you're filled with the Holy Spirit, and that's part of the awesomeness about when you're fasting. It's like you can feel the impurities, like the detoxing, whatever the language wants to be. The people are like, however it is, but when you're walking with God, or you're in prayer and in that submissiveness, and also too that denial of like, yeah, no, I'm going to pass on that processed food or junk food, or whatever it may be. And for me, it was more of an alignment of like what I put into my body. Matters to me, and so it was more of like clean foods and whatnot. And so, anyways, you can really feel it. You feel it throughout your organs. You have a clearer mind. Anxiety or whatever things that people may have because of too much sugar, too much caffeine, too much all this other stuff that we don't pay attention to from lack of sleep, or what we may have in just living our lives. It all matters. And so when you're fasting, when you're praying, things are intentional. You're being mindful. You're really, having more discipline, and I like that. I welcome discipline. So anyhow, that was it. I know not a lot of people do, but I do. I do. I've always welcomed discipline. So yeah, that was pretty awesome. So it was cool. I mean, I'm loving this. It's every day is a new day, so it's awesome. All right, tell me what's up, Mercedes. Tell me how's yours.
Okay, so on my fasting, I ended up um, I had decided I would fast last Sunday on Sunday, but I decided, okay, I'm really going to do this, but I had not been feeling well the day before. So during the unseen realm on that Saturday, I started, wasn't, my stomach was kind of messed up. I wasn't feeling very good. And so I thought to myself, well, it's got to be what I'm eating. Plus, I literally have been feeling, um, I guess for 2 weeks now, that I I'm just trying to get a clear head of what it is I'm supposed to do, what God needs me to do. What is it? And so I'm really, really thankful that we talked about having it every Sunday for you had talked about that last week. I thought that sounds great for me. So when I did this the first day, I made sure. Now this is something people to know, people can understand. I knew that I wasn't feeling good already, so I purposely set that day aside that I could rest. If I felt tired, I would go lay down and go to sleep or lay down and rest. because number one, I wasn't feeling all that good, and number two, I knew what was going to happen because this is my first time that I've actually done I wanted to do a really long fast. So this is something to be mindful of if you do fast. So I made sure I had plenty of really good water. I put salt in my water and different things like that, so it would sustain me. But literally, I made it through the first day and into the second day. I wasn't even hungry. I had much more energy on Monday. Monday was fantastic. Um, and I went straight through on my fast all the way till 6 p.m. So it was definitely 2 full days of fasting. And what I like about fasting too, if you use the nighttime, you use the sleep time while you're fasting. That's great because you go to sleep and you don't even realize it because you're asleep. And while we're asleep, our body then has time to really do the healing. So I try not, if possible, I try to stop my eating window around 5 at the most, 5, 6, because then I have plenty of time. My body has to process the foods that it has, and then it has plenty of time then when I'm resting to actually heal my body. So it's really interesting in the research, and you can find this out in my book because I do talk about that as well, and I talk about autophagy. But I wanted to go ahead and also talk about what had happened was, um, especially during the second day, I felt like I had made a level of clarity that all of a sudden I just felt super clear. Like I felt like I was lifting away, and like when I could feel the energy in my hands and my body working because I was kind of working on myself during this time. I was working on my stomach. I was working on my digestion using my hands to do the healing and taking my hands to different areas of my body and running the energy so that the energy, if I am stuck somewhere, then that energy was running. So I was really aware and conscious of that. Like spirit was coming through to show me that that is what I needed to do. Spirit was coming through, so God's spirit was coming through so clear. And by the second day, I went. I had to go to the little store, and so I was driving. No, I went to the big store. There's a little store and a big store, so I went to the big store. It's a little farther, and I put in some music to a song that I've been working on that I have not finished yet. And there's some new music that I have to get figured out, and I have to really reorchestrate it differently. And all of a sudden, I just felt like, boom, open voice. My voice just started coming through, and new melodies were coming through. As I kept singing that song, I would do different variations. And so basically, my channel was so clear that I was given like divine music so I could finish this song. And because it's really important, this song to me is about um, a lot of it's about the children. It's a lot about corruption. My views on this, and something I had written. It's been like I think I started writing this song like 3 years ago, and so it's finally coming to this prayer I did, this fasting I did, what is finally opened that up, and I'm talking that's 3 years, Des. So for me to finally get the channeled message, and I say channel because I feel like we are channels. Now we could talk about channels, there's different types of how we could say, but maybe we should talk about that too, Des. Like, what is the difference between me saying what I'm saying? I'm channeling spirit. I'm channeling God, and but I'm channeling Holy Spirit. I'm channeling God. I'm not asking for, something else. I'm asking for
Oh,
that to come through me. I'm asking for God's light. I'm doing the Lord's Prayer during my fasting. I'm doing prayers like that. I did read some scriptures and things like that. So it was very, very good. this 2 days of fasting really opened me up. I had so much energy. I couldn't believe it. I've had more energy than I've had in weeks by
I
doing
think
that.
it, I think the channeling or like the language is just it's like see more as I think an interpretation of like divine or divinity or something like that. That's a very good question. We're gonna have to ask that the unseen realm or the panel. It's a good
Yeah.
question because I don't know. You know that like in truth, like that's a very good. That was good,
Well,
and we should definitely see find that truth in that.
and I think they may have brought this up before on the panel,
Have
but
they?
I believe there's something about that. But
Mm.
we should ask that question directly.
Yeah,
But
you know
to me,
because
it's
it's
like
very yeah.
as long as we are in the intention of what we are wanting, because
Mm-hmm.
you are a seer, we've just you are and Doctor not and Doctor Archbishop Ron mentioned that this past week
Yeah.
that you really talked about your visions and dreams,
Yeah.
which was amazing. And so,
Yeah.
and I've been
Because a lot
asking
of them are
God,
coming so true.
I know, but
I
I've been
know.
asking, yes, do because I don't really have that type. I have where if I have to help somebody or if I
Hmm.
have to look into the body, but I don't really get things like you get about
Yeah.
the world and where we're
Yeah.
at. But see,
Yeah.
would that be channeling or would that's a different, I think it's channeling God frequency.
Well, yeah. Well, what was I gonna say? I don't know. I mean, the way you explain it, I mean, you have like this magnifying lens. It's pretty amazing, like how you're able to see inside the body.
Well, I think that just happened mainly because that
So
was like
glory to God.
yeah, glory to God gift because I didn't die. So I mean, I guess that was like, and then to keep going, not just like to walk away from what I could have walked away from. We all have a choice, right? We can do
Mm,
this. God can give us gifts and God can give us direction. But if we're not clear, then we will fall into listening to others or possibly drugs induced
mm,
states of mind or whatever, to get closer to God, when really that God says right there in on all the books and religions and everything, they say pray and fast. I'm not just making this up. It's in the Bible. It's in a doctrine, religious doctrine all over the world. It's clear.
there's
It's God's way of having us be clear, right?
uh what I know and there's a couple of times and I mean biblically I'm still learning but as far as biblically and fasting I know that, Jesus one time I mean Jesus fasted in the desert, the 40 days that he fasted, and when he was fasted, he was tempted, by the evil one, Hasatan. And then there's also another time when these people were trying to cast out this deliverance, and they were saying they went to Jesus because they couldn't, and that's when Jesus has said there's some demons that needs to be casted out, from fasting and, in the name. So right there is fasting again. And again, that's to me I see it as like works of the darkness or evil one. So yeah, that's what I know about fasting. And it's a way to help purify our temples.
Right. And so I see on the comment you mentioned, about organic eating and things like that. And that is, I mean, we have to be mindful of what we are eating. And then, I mean, like all of the foods that we're eating, we have to like look at the ingredients. And also, like, even when like, this is something I've noticed, like, sometimes I will get in those moods where like or in my life where I'll be driving by fast food and like just like that's easy, it's convenient. And then the next day you might drive by there again, you might drive by again. and you keep going back to do the food convenience. But what is that really? Is it always just convenience, or is there something there calling you to come and get that food? Because it's really a lot of that is it's not good energy. The food is not good for you. Let's say McDonald's.
Mhm.
I can't think of anything healthy in McDonald's. Nothing. And I think about compared to when I was a child and then now, I, I really believe it's just not good for us. Sure, maybe convenience every so often, but now I mean it's like Bill Gates has taken over the French fries and the potatoes. So I mean, like they're putting in, yeah. That I mean, he's the potato, he's the company, and so everything he's doing is completely bioengineered. I mean, there's
Mm.
really nothing real, and so to me, it's like almost like a calling from the darker forces saying, "Yeah, come by, eat the McDonald's." So it's to me, it's like if we can look more at what we're eating and try to clean up our body. Joe and I just well, Joe did amazing on it's called gosh, we just did a huge fast. We just did a huge. It was 3 months of a cleanse called Wild Fit, and it starts out small, where you're just looking at what you're going to be eating and the ingredients and different things, and then that you go off completely, no processed foods and no anything. So you're just on a really very clean food, and I was amazed through that. Joe actually, we still don't have cheese in the house. We don't have dairy. A little bit every so often. I mean, it's just weird. No bread. There's no bread. Like he used to have sandwiches every day. So no sandwiches. But it's what was in the bread. So you have to look at those ingredients, and then So I'm really glad we did do that together. And this, I think we're on the like 6 weeks after we did that 3 week adventure with WildFit. But yeah. What do you think about what they're putting in the ingredients of the food, Des? Compared to
Well,
when we were kids, it's a lot different. I mean, I'm older than you, but I know that the last 20 years, it has changed.
I definitely agree. I from the little bit of like information and awareness that I am aware of, like I did made a comment. I used to think that like organic foods was like a conspiracy, because I just like I just thought like it was a something they marked up, because it really wasn't real, and like, they're just some kind of like scheme of why it's so expensive or something. I don't know, I mean, like it was that's
Well,
my ignorance, really, truly. It just shows my ignorance. And like also kind of like the social, what I call my social economic class that I was in, and like our mind, because I'm not the only one that has that kind of mindset. You know what I mean? There's other people that also think that way because, me and my friends would all talk about this stuff. And so, it wasn't until like I got older, I actually met somebody that actually took the time to explain to me of what organic food is. And plus too, like the world does such a good job at like what I call blinding us or like lukewarming our eyes or just like manipulating what we see and what we understand as a bar or a measure of like this is good, or this is what is okay. And so we think of something has to be big, and large in size for it to be like, oh, that's valid, or this is of good value. When an organic banana really is of normal size, or an organic apple really is like smaller. I remember just looking at it, I was like, ew, what's wrong with that apple? Why is it so small? And they were like, it's an organic apple. And I was like, is it sick? Is that tree sick? Like, I mean, this is like my true, honest thoughts.
right.
And so it really, and like, it's just, there's other people that think these things. it was just, I was just honest enough to share my thoughts with somebody, and they're like loving enough to educate me and tell me that, like, no, it's organic. They don't have hormones to make them grow large. Yeah. And I was like, oh, let
Growth
me think about
hormone.
that. Exactly, exactly. And it's just like I had to really chew on that. I was like, growth hormones, growth hormones. I was like, what does that mean? No, they put vitamins. See, because they tell me growing up and so many times, that, all these injections, all these different colors are good for me, all this fluorides, all of this is good for me. And we
Right.
just say yes, 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 not ever questioning. Yet my aunts and uncles and cousins are all passing from cancer and have diseases and, like, are just like in very bad health and codependent on our pharmaceutical needs, and why? When, like, ancestrally wise, we had homeopathic things that, like, it's like, oh no, little grandma or great 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 grandma used to do this, use garlic, or used to use this plant, or used to use that plant, because we can't do this anymore because it's not profitable for, society as a whole. And then here we go again with the principalities, big picture. But yeah, so have I seen the food change? Yes, I have, because I've seen the supply and demand change. I worked in the service industry also, and so I did ordering in the foods and also to like produce orders, and I used to like talk to, like, local farmers and all of that, as well as like commercial. And we would give an understanding and learn how, when like things are caught, how it gets distributed throughout like the food supply. And I worked in grocery companies as well, and I also worked in like with the ordering in them too. So I saw how when we get fresh fish in or fresh produce in, how that comes in through the trucks and produce and the ships or whatnot. And so, you learn the hierarchy of things and the quality of food, according to what I call, like, your social economic levels. But yeah, it seems that there's more hormones, yet the youth are maturing at a higher rate. They're having more, it seems like, emotional problems or mental, neurological, you know, uh, problems. We have what's called now this neurodivergence. And there's like a group of mothers that I kind of like am involved in, and they believe that it's like the some of the foods that are the hormones and the foods that are there, and that these fast foods are also sometimes, not sometimes, but are created with a design with some of these addictiveness that are created for this cycle of like continuedness. So
Yeah,
hey,
and then Trish says yes, and they're bigger. And yeah, I mean, if you think about, people are more overweight now than they ever were. And I mean, I fall in that category. I mean, I've just, luckily, because I know how to do this, but I'm down, I just keep dropping now. I'm back on my plan, but emotionally, you can fall off, and then, but that's what I love about prayer and fasting, is because then you got to sync back up, and God's always there for you when you do get back into sync. And learning about our food and learning about what we're talking about right now, like knowing, we know now, like I didn't know that they put things in Doritos or Cheetos that make you want to eat another Dorito or Cheeto. It's not just because you like that, it's just because there's something in there, and they admit it now. I always thought that the Food and Drug Administration really had to be good and regulate everything. But I'm learning that no, they are not all that good all the time. That they definitely are pulling some fast ones on people. One of the things I learned, you guys, is that a long time ago, before I was a singer and actress, stage performer, blah, all that stuff, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so I had no idea about any of this. But when I did end up going to massage school, that's when I started hearing about this. So that was a while back. They would talk to me about the different things, and I'm like, really? You're kidding? That was so. you think about the Food and Drug Administration, then there's a salve or a gel or it's a cream I absolutely love called arnica. It's from the Arnica Montana flower plant. It's an old remedy herb. So when I got in on that, when I started doing training to get my license, at that time, the Food and Drug Administration was trying to take that off the market and regulate it. They didn't. They didn't. It's out there still on the market, and you can buy it at Safeway or your local health food stores. It's the best remedy ever. It's called Arnica. Arnica Montana. So look it up. It works for inflammation. You can take it sublingually, for, all kinds of things. So research that. But that's when I started to realize, why would they do that? Why do they want to take this off the market? It works. It's very inexpensive, like $5 to $7, and it works. So why? Why would they do that? Because they have the drugs. They have the aspirin companies. They have the Tylenol companies. They have all these companies that they are marketing, and that's who they're backing. So somehow they did not take that off the market, but that's good. So this is what I think we're at right now, where we have to, in this day and time, check everything and try to go with the healthiest brands that we can. I really think that's important. Don't you, Des?
I was thinking about that actually the other day, because being like the burden of finances and the way money is right now and how food is expensive. I don't know, like the struggle is real. I was thinking about that. It's like I was like trying to, as I'm fasting and I'm like trying to fast and also be in this world, like not be, but like live in the world. It's like my choices are very limited. And it's like sometimes you gotta choose like the better of like what you have left, you know? So I was thinking about that, out of like if I have $5, how do I stretch my $5? And so I was at the store, like, how do I stretch this $7 I have here to fill my belly?
Yeah,
Yeah, this is I got a watermelon,
that's
and it
actually
was I know, it was so awesome. Watermelon,
it's
some
good for
rice,
you.
and some chickpeas. I mean, like, it was so awesome. Like, it filled me up, and it was a perfect, like, full meal thing and everything, but, yeah, but I'm just saying, because 'cause I'm just like, "Wow," and talk about, like, good thing I'm fasting, because if I wasn't, like, I'm just thinking reconsidering that maybe I should be because
Right. And that's the great thing about fasting is because like it does you don't eat as much. And then when you so like I like to eat like OMAD, so one meal a day on a good that's what I'm planning on doing is just go one meal or 1 hour a few hours of time and then I and then the rest of the day I would fast just so I can keep with autophagy. But one of the things I was going to say was Dr. Jason Fung, who is the one who I really I love to listen to him and research him in his work on YouTube, and I've got his books and different things. But he talks about how when he started with the fasting program in Canada with his clients that were on dialysis, that a lot of them were from low income areas and in Canada, and a lot of them were actually Japanese, Chinese, and Asian people, and but they responded really well. But that a lot of stuff that they were eating had to be you have to go and get whatever you can. They couldn't buy the most incredible ingredients, the organic ingredients, things like that. It's kind of like what you're talking about. They had to make a choice because they had a limited income. But they found it so much easier because then they could just fast and they were able to get off their diabetes medication. They were able to get off their cholesterol medication and heal these issues in their body. And so that's when he began with starting his whole fasting method. So it's amazing if you think about, like, we don't have to eat as much. Literally, who would have thought? We don't have to eat that much. I never knew that. Especially the last 10 years, it's like, eat all these meals. When I tried doing that over when I before I realized during the pandemic that I had diabetes too. I didn't know, but I was trying to do these little meals with all these little carbs and all these things. It made me gain weight. It made me sicker. Why? Because my body didn't do well with that. My body needs to stop because my tank, it was like all my insulin, which I had not even known what that word meant at the time. It was like I kept putting in food, the insulin kept growing. It's like putting in gas in your tank, and you're just filling your gas tank up, 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 and you don't stop. And you don't drive enough. It's exactly the same as that. So that's when I learned you stop doing that. You give your body time to not eat, and then it heals everything, and then you have just the right amount. It's amazing. And that's when I first learned it from Dr. Jason Fung. I do mention him in the book too. And someday I would love to interview that man, really would. That's on my wish list. Let's see, Trish is saying the stomach, yeah, so Trish is saying the stomach shrinks. Yes. And you don't have to go and get your stomach cut. You know, I mean, if you just do this, there's so many things you can, it happens fast, like, and you feel so good. I mean, that's what's amazing
Mhm.
to me, is how good I feel right now. I feel alive. And don't you think, like, even Trish out there, where you're at, like, when you fast, you just, I don't know, you just feel more alive. And I'm not trying to promote no eating. I eat a good meal. I drink my drinks when I'm fasting. I do what I'm supposed to do. But
Mhm.
I feel good. I don't feel like I'm deprived.
I'll say like when I think it really depends on fasting as a kid or like when I was young. I didn't understand fasting like the way I understand fasting now. Fasting seemed like it was like a punishment almost,
Yeah.
and it was like
And fish on
because I
Friday. Did you have to do that? Like,
was
my
that
mom, you have to have fish on
Ye
Friday or something. My
yeah, it
son
was
would.
something like that. I remember, like, I don't really remember it was a religious, I guess, a more
Yeah.
it was like I just remember it just
And
being going through motions, and I will always remember feeling like, "This feels so strange, this doesn't feel right," it feels so, like I felt like so, like, a cultish, like, and I was just like, yes, no," So anyway, so yeah, the fasting then was more like, no, we're not gonna you kids are not having any sugar, and it was just like, wow, that like, that's why okay, and if you did have sugar, you get like in trouble. Like, it was something like that, so it was very not an understanding kinda way. Then it was like a fasting, I think, in my early adulthood of was like, I'm going to like of that martyrdom, like, I'm going to fast, because I want to hurt myself, I'm in agony and I'm gonna like, redeem myself. I'm like trying to do things on my works, I'm still not really understanding what I'm doing. So there's still really I'm not doing it to like truly get relief. I'm like still punishing myself in a sense. Now, and like I'm 49, I'm gonna be 50. Fasting to me is like it's a walk, it's a lifestyle, it is a relationship with God, it is a freedom, it's a way to have breakthrough in my life, it's a way to find myself center, it's a way when I'm not feeling well, if I am feeling ill, like, body aches, pains, or if I'm going to get sick or something, of me kind of restoring myself, resetting my body, it's so much different when I what I like to look at now is taking a lot of the knowledge that I am and using it as wisdom, and applying things that I've learned from over the years to now, oh, you know what? Those people were right that they were saying. And you know what? I've made all these other mistakes and they didn't work out. So let me do this now that I see and that's right. Like, let me take all of this that was good and actually, well, Jesus Christ already said all this. So, like, yeah, it goes right back to him saying that he's the way, he's the truth, and he's the life. Well, makes sense to me. So, it is just like it's so awesome. It's just like in Ethiopia, there's this thing, it's called a gusha, right? A gusha is like you make you feed somebody like a hand feeding, and it's like a perfect gusha, it's just like it just encompasses everything, and it's made with so much love, and it's just like perfect. So yeah, 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 that's how I look at fasting and, I guess my journey and with prayer, now.
Oh, that's so beautiful. I forgot to do our prayer at the beginning too, and I'm like, oh, we're supposed to have done the prayer at the beginning. Yikes! But
Oh, but let's do it.
yeah, but we'll do it because we're. I mean, I can't believe how fast the show's gone. But I love that story you just shared, especially with about Ethiopia and the handful of busha.
Yeah, that was a good shot.
And this the whole thing about like yeah. So when I first heard about fasting, that was as a kid, but we didn't really emphasize. Mom didn't really emphasize, or it wasn't what I know it to be now. It was very restrictive, and I think that's one of the reasons why I love that I did get on this journey, which really, even though I started fasting, juice fasting, back when I started at Medicine Will Wellness and working for Dr. Swidler, they would do juice cleanse all the time. And so I got hooked on, he introduced me to Joe Cross. So I love Joe Cross, the Green Machine. And so I started reading about him and went to some of his workshops. High Overbuilt Automotive? Wow. That's awesome. He's from our Warrior Mode. We got two Warrior Mode people here. Thank you for showing up. That's awesome, Des. So I looked at that only for losing weight. I wanted to lose weight. I knew it would be healthy, and I would do the juices every morning. They like paid me extra to get in there every morning and do juices for every single person at work early in the morning. And so I really became hooked on that and continued on to do that and really liked it. But during the pandemic, or pandemic, when I started, we were under spiritual attack here on the property, and that's what they were doing. The dark forces, they were attacking me, and so you could see a difference, and I could feel a difference. So, but when we met Bill, when Bill came into our life, and Bill did those deliverances, Bill and God did the exorcisms, and then we started to heal. That's when that's when I was actually diagnosed at that same time, around that time, with the diabetes too, the year after those. So I had already then started getting the download from God. You need to pray and fast. So really, the evolution for me was that I had to get really clear and get those deliverances and get everything kind of cleared off that was holding me back. Like I wasn't completed. I wasn't getting clear. So when I really did that, I think that is what I like sharing, because I don't think it's a one step, one boom, one size fits all. I think we all have a journey to go on. That you're listening to me right now, somebody somewhere, and you think, oh my gosh, okay, so maybe this is something I could step into. And I'm telling you, once you step into it, if you've never done this before, and you look at it through this perspective, through this lens, through this perspective, with putting God first in it, asking for God's help with you, but not expecting anything. You don't expect anything. You just give yourself over and say, God, I want help. I want to fast. Please show me. You will find an answer. That's all I can say. You will find an answer. It will come because that's why I put on the book. It is the key. It is it is a key. Take It's this key. It's a real key. If people are looking for a key, they're looking for a way. That's one of the ways. I swear to God, it's amazing. It's amazing. It really is. So, I probably went on too much. I'm so I just love talking about this. So, and thank you everybody that's here, that's listening. Thank you, Des. Thank you for listening and being a part of this because I really feel like God um, really pushed me the last year, the last 6 months to, like I've been fasting with her, but I didn't know I was going to write a book. I didn't know. I was not planning on that. But he kept saying, you got to do the, and then right after Through the Veil, like Des and I had just finished that one. She helped me,
Right.
bless your heart, finish that one,
Yes.
which I didn't know I was really going to write that either. So then right after the Through the Veil, boom, you have to write this one. I'm like, oh my gosh. So like for me to do all that, that is a lot of effort and a lot of time and never really done this before. So and then God bless me again. Right away. George Nori, we get to talk about
Oh
this
yeah.
coast to coast. I mean, I did not expect that. So, I mean, I know that there is a reason. And so now God is saying that really I need to put this show together with Dez's help, and we are doing it. And here it is. We are on week 2, and we're talking about prayer and fasting. And what is prayer and fasting going to do for America? What is prayer and fasting going to do for not just America, but everybody? All of these people that are all struggling and suffering, it doesn't matter who you are or what color you are, how rich or poor you are. It just matters that we have to somehow come together with God, all of us, and this is one way that we can do it. And so if you are willing to try with us on first Sunday of the month, all you got to do is say, I'm with this state and I will participate. And so then we get one person from every state in America. If you want to go global, we'll go global. Come on, Europe. Come on, everybody. And we'll have that one person to represent, just like a representative of our state and our Congress and all that. It's the same thing to God. As we got one person, we join together. You don't even have to do a major fast. You can choose your fast. If you want to fast with food, like we're doing, fine. That's perfect. And I think that's the actual best way. Yes. But if you want to start with a 4-hour fast and just do a 4-hour fast, a 6-hour fast, 8-hour fast, whatever. This is really like beginner's intermittent fasting. And so it's like joining with us with that intention and prayer, letting God use us as vessels to create an energy that goes clear across this world, clear across the United States of America. And then it doesn't matter who or what religion you are, this is about God. God is the main thing. God will heal all of us. I know it. I just know it. I just know it. And I know we're running out of time. And I got on my bandwagon. Sorry.
I just wanted to clarify. Actually, it's God I am, God Yahweh.
Yes, God. God is
Yeah,
God, Father God.
so that we yes, that's right. So when we know when we're praying, we're in Jesus
Yes.
Christ.
Yes, and you can
It's just,
talk about that too, Des. I mean, like, I'm kind of making it very neutral. I mean, I'm just trying to meet people where they are because
right.
before my deliverances, before the exorcism, before we met Reverend Bill Bean, I was not the same person I am right now. I was open
Tell
to
us.
all different things. They called me a new age healer and things like that. So, um, I was open to all those, but those things were not saving us. Those things did not save our property. Those things did not save our life, my life. God came to save my life with Jesus. Jesus saved my life. Yeah.
Hallelujah.
Yeah. So, but I love my Buddhist friends. I love all the different people. I love my Native American friends. I love all of these people everywhere. And I believe that every one of us has a connection to God, and I believe that we're all on a path trying to just get to the everlasting part of what it is, and this is just my journey. This is what happened to me, and I know Des had the same similar walk. I know that you did,
Oh
didn't you?
yeah. Oh, absolutely. I listen, I was like I was a Buddhist. I walked this world as like a Tibetan Buddhist. I welcomed all religions. I had this very abstract and skewed, I think thought of my God. I was like a spiritual person. I was a new age person. And then as I'm reading the Bible, I can relate to, I've been a Peter. I've been a person to deny, I've been also in one time an atheist, and one time where I've just didn't like, because I didn't understand God. I was mad. So yeah, oh no, I can relate a lot. Absolutely. And one thing that I would always though was looking for was light and was truth. And even and whatnot. And so I just talk about the truth of like, hey, I found the light. His name is Jesus Christ. I was like, and it was an encounter with God, and his name was I am, because like a lot of us are all looking for that light, and we are all looking for that connection. And it's just such a relief when you finally find the answer, it really is,
Yeah.
because you don't feel so lost and all that. And so yeah, it is the truth. And so I can definitely relate, but, yeah, that's what I say, and I go and I talk to all my Buddhist, my buddies, and I'm telling them, I was like, "Yo," I was like, "Listen, this is what happened." Somewhere along the line, Buddha, I think he was talking about Jesus, that's what he was talking about. It was Jesus is the light that he was talking about. I was like, "That's what they were meaning," and I was like, "Here, let me show you where in Genesis where he says he was the word," and so yeah, I'm learning, But, that's all.
One of the things I definitely experienced after the accidents and I started to work with people and help them and heal them and whatnot, all these spirits would come to me. So, I mean, and they would be profound moments, which I don't really talk too much about all this, but like Blessed Mother, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Michael, the different spirits would come to us during sessions, and I had so many amazing people that I would work with, and they were very profound in their spiritual walk. So their healers would come. So it was mystical and amazing, and but the profound feeling of, say, Blessed Mother Mary with all the colors, and you could feel her coming into the room or coming up to you. The Archangel Michael, so many times I started to see people's armor, and that's when I knew that was probably 2017, 18, and 19. Was a lot of profound stuff where all of a sudden, and you'll even see that in my spirit drawings with Joe when I first started to work with Joe. That's when I started to all of a sudden see these people as if they were in armor, and their armor was just beat up. It was tarnished. It was destroyed, and it was up to my work to clean the armor. So, as I started to go in this unbelievable work kind of sessions, it happened over and over and over again, where the more healing or work I did, their armor shined like God's light, God's clean armor. and even Reverend Bill Bean. So that's when Joe made that sword for Reverend Bill Bean. He made a spiritual warrior armor and sword. That was because I saw this shining sword with Bill and this armor, and I told Joe about it, and that was like at the peak. So that was like during right at the pandemic, and so this was at a real peak time for 2 or 3 years when I was seeing this armor. So I think what I'm trying to say is that I believe that we have the armor of God with us. We are carrying our armor. But the clearer we get, the closer we get to God, the more we can go in and repair those things, our hurt, our pain, our health. It cleanses the armor. It strengthens and shines your armor of God. So be sure you say the armor of God. We've got that written on our, Joe has it on the shelf out there on the wall, the armor of God. And I do believe that that's what prayer and fasting does. And I think all of this was a little path Mercedes is walking. Oh, that's the armor of God? Well, okay, so here we are at this level. Like, well, what can help your armor of God also? Prayer and fasting. Isn't that crazy, Des? I've never shared that really. I don't think in public. I don't think I've shared that. I have shared the one about Jesus, where
Yeah.
I've seen Jesus at least I think twice for sure, and I felt the presence of Jesus in many sessions. But I've seen physically Jesus, glimpses, and then I've heard the voices, and then when I woke up that morning after just a traumatic day, a traumatic week, and traumatic night with lots of prayer, and then Jesus was sitting right there with me. What? I mean, and I put that in the book, and I drew the picture. I draw the spirit picture. So those things happen because I get closer to God the way I'm hearing to do that, which is prayer and fasting. Prayer and fasting, I think, has created all of these things to happen for me, plus the healing of different people like Bill and others. And now we've got this amazing team. I know we're going to have to close the show now because we've gone over an hour, but I definitely want to say that be sure to check out the Unseen Realm with Archbishop Ronald Fell Enright, and that's every Saturday. Uh, and Des and I co-produce, and at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, in Eastern Standard Time is 6 p.m. And Des, you can go ahead and say some things too. I don't mean to take up all the time.
No, it's totally cool. I'm glad. I was happy to hear your testimony. It
Thank
was,
you. I think
yeah,
it's time to
absolutely.
start talking because I don't think I share these spiritual things like I used to do, but then
Hmm.
I stopped sharing. But now I guess it's time for me to start sharing. Just like you, it's time
Yeah,
for you to start sharing.
I am. I'm trying.
Yeah, and trust me, she's actually shy, everybody.
I
She
know.
really is.
Ah,
I want to say that tonight we do have a guy, Darren Lee, is going to be on our show. He's a friend of Bishop Joshua's, and we're going to be talking about Bigfoot and
mm,
all the different things that this man has investigated. So it should be a
ooh,
really great show tonight. First time I'll get to talk to this man. So Darren Lee, that's on
cool.
Explaining the Unexplainable tonight at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and that would be 9 p.m., 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I wish we were all on one time. It'd be so much easier.
I know.
I don't know. We're all these different times. So Des, what do you got planned for this week? Are you gonna do anything special this week for you?
Oh, well, this week, well, Lord leads me. No, I'm going to be, well, I'm getting together a public display of baptism. So,
Is that
yeah,
this
yeah.
week? Because we talked about that.
Yeah, we've been talking about that. Yeah, no, no. letting the
Just
Lord
trying to
lead, but
prepare it.
yeah, preparing it, yes, so we can start our fasting. And so everybody, and then yeah, so I found the location. Wow, you know what? In the location it's at, the come to find out, the building is called Exodus, and it's a rehab, like a drug rehab place. I know. I
So
know. I was just like,
big.
whoa. I know. I was just like, I was looking more for like the location, and because of like, it's such a perfect spot to like, oh, great, we could put the pool here. I'm thinking logistics, and plus I was just thinking like, that's what I was thinking of. So as I'm getting ready to go to the building to ask and to tell these people, this is what I'd like to do on your property, if you don't mind. Yeah. Hello, my name is Desiree. And yeah, and so yeah, the place is called Exodus, and it's a drug rehab. But I was like, oh, come on, now it is just now I'm totally gonna be like, listen, I have been testifying lately about how God has delivered me from, my bondages and strongholds. So this would be a great way to also kind of incorporate this. And so yeah, that is something that I'm gonna be doing. And
Well, that's
what else?
big.
Yeah, is that big? That's so exciting. I'm so excited about that. Really, I am. And breaking bread. I'm gonna be launching that soon. So
Oh my
my
God.
breaking bread. Yeah, so I can go and I can share some of the sketches and the dreams that I have, and just share my journey and my walk. So it'll be awesome. So we'll incorporate all this goodness of God. So yeah.
Yeah, because we are part of so many shows, you and I, and they're all so serious, and they're all so like, oh my gosh, every week when you listen to Bill's show, Reverend Bill, there's a lot, and the other shows that we're a part of, um, in one way or the other, and I think it's nice. It's nice. I'm very happy to have a lighter show that focuses on health and wellness and prayer, and just try. Even
Hmm.
though we got to cover the serious stuff, but like
Hmm.
what you're doing with Breaking Bread, when you start doing that, and what you're about to do, see, these are some just a different layer of this.
Later.
It's
Yeah,
like
it is.
how, yeah, it's like lifting up, because we've already gone through it.
Right.
You've gone through this. Trish has gone through it. Everybody on the chat's gone through this. So it's like we're just helping. It's just a different way of helping those others. And I'm there for you if you need somebody to, you know, be on camera or talk with you or whatever. Just let
Yeah.
me know. I'll help you. That's going to be a serious job you're going to do. Big
Oh,
job. But it's for God, so it'll be good.
thank you.
Your neighborhood truly needs it. Obviously, your
Oh,
neighborhood
yeah.
truly needs
Yeah,
that.
oh, yeah. Yeah, letting the Lord lead me all the way. A
God
lot of,
bless
my background
Baltimore.
experience is coming in. Yeah, Baltimore. Oh, it's
God,
rough.
please bless this whole neighborhood. Bless all these people, God, for our
Yeah.
good. So anyway, I think we should probably just do our closing prayer. Diz, why don't you do the prayer for us?
Okay, we can do the Lord's Prayer. All right. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us for our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, deliver us from the evil one. For thy kingdom, thy power, and thy glory is forever yours, Father.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Ooh,
So
love
good.
you, God. I know,
I
I
know.
love you, God. Just like, ooh,
I
just love
know.
you. Just
This
love
is
you,
so
God.
awesome.
All right.
Well, thank you,
Get
everybody.
back
Thank
in there. Thank
Overbuilt
you.
Automotive. Thank you, Trish, and
I
thank
know.
you
Thank you,
whoever
Trish.
is coming in later to watch this.
Thank
Leave
you.
comments, leave your share, and be back next Tuesday. I guess we'll just do it at 12, right, Des? Is this a good time for
Yep.
you?
Yeah, works good. And also too, I'll be praying. I pray every 3 hours. So starting I'm on Eastern Standard Time, so 3:12 midnight, and then every 3 hours from there. So know that somebody's praying in the world for you. And pray the Lord's Prayer. So hallelujah.
Yes, God bless everybody, and we pray for all of you. And I,
Yes,
I
we
see
pray.
Overbill saying, so as for health, rambling above, I have not did it yet, still got to get more intel.
Until
I'm not sure what that means,
and
but
pray
God
eight.
bless you. I hope, and thank you for being here. All right, everybody,
Thank you
thank you
for
so much. Have a
thank you.
wonderful
Bye.
day. Have a blessed day.